up to as many workshops as you like. Something else that and I've just put another link in the chat, which takes you to our website. If you follow that link, you'll go straight to a list of different workshops and when they're available, and you can sign up to them directly there. Okay. Something new that I've also done, and I want to, again, I'm picking up on something Alison said. There is no such thing as a stupid question. So I've also set up a Academic English for Business Yammer group. If you sign up for a workshop, we'll automatically invite you to join this group. And we'd encourage you to ask questions, engage with us over that, or indeed just to contact us directly by emailing. Let me pop my email address in the chat as well. .ac.uk. Oh, .ac.uk. Okay, there we go. Right. I think that's all I have to say, really. I know Alison will encourage you to ask questions. I'm sure she'll be able to answer most of them if I've already left the session. But Alison, please, thank you for inviting me to come along. And please, do give my email to students if you think there's a question that I'd be better to answer.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Emma. And as Emma's implied, this is a really great way for you to connect with other students as well. It's not just about you getting support with your language to improve your fluency and hopefully improve your grades and get some study skills support. It is also about you being able to connect in small groups with other students, make friendships, get some peer support. So if your first language isn't English, please just go and explore, go and sign up for some of those sessions, and you are going to find them really valuable, particularly in your early weeks with us. Okay, so there's lots more that I'm going to talk you through now in terms of the kinds of support that you can get as you're joining us in that period of transition into the business school. So the first thing I wanted to signpost you to is our induction MOOC, which I'm really hoping, and I know for sure that lots of you have been accessing already. So I'm just going to post a link to it in here, just in case it's not something that you've clicked through to yet. So what I'm going to do now is just share my screen and show you what that looks like. Okay, let's have a look. There we go. The right buttons. Okay, so can you see this now? Yep.
Yes.
Brilliant, good. So this is the first page of it, and you'll see that once you've clicked on that link, you will need to just log into FutureLearn. Don't worry if you haven't used it in the past. It's really simple to just set up a really basic account with them, and then you get free access to this. Now, it is a massive online open course. Now, that's a little bit of a misnomer because for us, this is a private course. It is not open. Most of FutureLearn's courses are available to all and anybody who wants to join them. But for us, we just use this platform because it meant that for those of you that had not yet started with us and hadn't activated their University of Exeter account, you were able to access this on a different platform without needing to sign into our systems. So what you'll find in here is a whole mass of information about how you can learn more about being a business school student. There's lots and lots of information in here. I'm just going to go through to this page, which is the page I love the most. And as you can see, there are already 645 people that have posted on here. Because what it is, it's where you can come in and say hello. You can say hello to all the other people on your course, and in courses indeed across the whole of the business school. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and start connecting with each other. So you can see all these different people and you can see where they're from, and you get a real good sense of that community that you are joining. Now, there's lots and lots more in here. I'm not going to go through in great detail. You can see that it's separated into 3 weeks. Don't worry about the term week. You can join this whenever you want to. Once you've joined it, you have access from this point all the way through your studies at Exeter if you want to come back and have a look. But essentially, FutureLearn always separate out their content into weeks. So if you click on each of the weeks, you'll see there's a whole load of things in here around academic support, library support, the things that Emma was just talking about, support for non-native speakers of English, how to enhance your degree, employability, study abroad opportunities. Now, remember, this is for undergraduates as well as postgraduates. So there will be some things in here that aren't relevant to you. But information you'll hear about EDI, around the Students' Guild, and all sorts of different things that you can do. So please do, if you haven't already, click on that link and work your way through that. It is really important that you work your way through it. What this course does is replace lectures that we used to offer during the Welcome Week for undergraduates and postgraduates, because we know sitting in a lecture is not the best way to give you information. It's much better to give you a resource that you can work through in your own time, and where there are those collaborative opportunities for you to connect with other students as well. So lots of important information in there. I think it was in week 2, there's information here about the student support team, about IT, and about assessment and attendance. There's some really important information in there around things like mitigation, which is what you do if you're unwell and unable to take an assessment, or there's another reason that you can't take an exam or submit something on time. So you really need to understand that mitigation process, and that's all explained in here. So that's one of the things that you'll be doing. The other thing that we are going to signpost you to, and I'm just going to change my view to student view here so that you see on the screen what you're going to see as a student rather than a member of staff. So this is our academic induction module. And again, when I go back in out of this view, I will post a link to this. So BSDM 100 is our academic induction for postgraduate students. So all students in the business school need to complete a set of tasks. This module will be listed as one of your modules in our virtual learning environment, which we call ELE, which is what you're looking at here on the screen. And it is a compulsory module, but there are no grades attached to the work that you do within this module. So it is not something that contributes towards your final degree result, but it is incredibly important that you complete these tasks, because it means that you are most likely to understand all of the conventions that we have around studying. So you'll see here there are different sections. There's a little bit of a welcome here where it talks you through the tasks that you'll need to complete. So you can see in that blue box, there's a writing task. There are some readings to work through, including how we manage referencing using APA. There's a library induction, and again, that's vitally important. If you want to be getting good grades on your work, you're going to need to understand how to access the resources. There's a section on academic honesty and avoiding plagiarism, and that includes a quiz that is compulsory and that you must pass. So the date for that task and for the writing task for completion is the 23rd of October. So please do that as soon as you possibly can before you start getting lots of other work in on your other modules. There's also an equality, diversity and inclusion training that you need to complete. And then there's a really informal induction quiz where you can just test your knowledge in those, and then a reminder to do your academic tutor meetings. So once you've clicked on that welcome, you can use this button here to click through to the next section, or you can go back to that original page. And all you then do to complete the tasks is just click on the task in there, and that will take you through to the bit that you need to do. And then this here again, the next bit, you'll see here in reading that you need to undertake, and that includes our referencing guide. So that is probably the most important document when it comes to completing your academic work, to make sure that you understand how to integrate sources into your work and how to reference them correctly. We do not want any of you falling foul of academic misconduct. It is a really unpleasant thing to have to go through, even if it's, most of our students are completely honest. A lot of the plagiarism that we come across is accidental. So please avoid that by working your way through all of these resources here and understanding how to avoid it. The library induction is very straightforward. You just need to click on the general induction to the library here, and then you've got your own guide to referencing, to business resources as well. Academic honesty and quiz, again, just click on the next bit and you'll get through. You need to work your way through the resource first, in conjunction with that referencing guide on the previous pages, and then you need to complete the quiz here. So it's 100% to pass, but you can take it as many times as you need to pass that. So please go to that as soon as you can, as well as the induction MOOC. They are our core induction tasks that you need to do over the next couple of weeks or so. Now, what you'll see here also, and indeed on every single one of your pages for your modules, which look like this, is a link to our academic development resources page. So I'm just going to switch to student view on this one as well. Sorry, my internet is slowing down. Okay, so this is our main resource for you as business school students to access all the guides that you need and all the support that you need to make sure that you succeed in your modules. So again, I won't go through all of these in detail right now. You can explore for yourselves, but essentially you can access this page by clicking on a blue link that will appear on the right-hand side here in all of your LE pages for the business school. It's the middle link of those. And you can see here, you've got the guides to referencing again that you saw in your academic induction module. You've got writing guides to how to write essays and reports. You've got more guides on the library. You can access support with maths and statistics, some signposting towards wellbeing, how to access peer support, language support, which is what Emma was talking to you about. And then we have workshops as well. So as well as those workshops specifically focusing on language, you will find that from next week, there's a whole suite of workshops that you can access that are available to all business school students on things like referencing and writing and presenting and IT skills as well. So they're useful things to look out for. There's also a box here on digital skills, and I'll talk more about those in just a minute. And you'll see also the link to Studiosity. So for those of you that are not familiar with what Studiosity can offer, it is essentially a study skills service. They can offer you within 24 hours detailed feedback on your assignments that you're completing within your modules. They do not give you feedback on the content, but they will give you feedback on language, grammar, structure, referencing. So particularly if English is not your first language, please do submit your work to our Studiosity service before you submit it formally within your modules. And then there's also a Connect Live service, which offers live tutoring with an expert as well. But again, it's in very basic level study skills, not the content that is in your modules themselves. And it's the module tutors you will need to go to get help with that. So you get 10 uses of Studiosity across the whole year, which should be enough to cover most of your coursework assignments. Now, I mentioned earlier that self-isolating link. So you can see that here on the right-hand side. That is where you click if you need to self-isolate, whether you've been told by the health authorities that you've been in contact with someone who has coronavirus, or indeed you have symptoms yourself. Okay, so what else did I want to show you? Digital Hub. So we are all going to have to start getting used to much more digital interactions, obviously starting even today. So one of the things that I just wanted to mention is that there is lots of support for you within the university, and Scott has been part of a team that has been really great at putting together some resources to help you as business school students as well. But if you click on this students section of the Digital Hub, you will find loads. There is lots and lots in here to help you understand how to get the most out of the technology. So please spend some time having a little look through here. You'll see there are lots and lots of videos. These Espresso session videos are really helpful. This one here, accessing Teams, Zoom and Office 365 is absolutely vital. So please have a look at that to make sure that you're ready for your first classes next week. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to mention was the Guild. So what we sometimes refer to in the UK as the Student Union is at Exeter called the Students' Guild. And they are fantastic. So they are the people who look after all of the societies, and there are hundreds of societies that you can join, most of which are running nearly all of their activities online this year. So even if you are in China or another country far away from Exeter, you can still join our societies and participate. It's a great way of making friends. It's a great way of connecting with other people. So this is their website. Definitely worth a look. Go and see what's going on. There are societies that are specifically for postgraduate students, but of course you are welcome to join almost anything. You can see along the top of the webpage there, you've got all the different links to the kinds of things that they offer. But it's not just societies, it's also advice. So if you need independent advice on something, they have their advice unit. And then the other thing, really importantly, that the Guild oversee is student representation. So you'll see here on that webpage, we've got all of the VPs and the president. So they are permanent positions for this year, but they are also overseeing a very vast, in fact, program of student representation where you as an individual student can stand as a student rep for your program. And there's a whole set of different people that then meet across the business school. All the reps for all the different year groups meet in what we call our SSLC meetings, our student staff liaison committees. And it's a way for you to feed back on your experience of being a student in the business school. So if you are a rep, and you will find out more about that by exploring this webpage here, if you go to voice and representation, you can find out how to apply to be the subject rep for your course. You can find who your rep is once they've all been put in position. And then you will then know who the person is on your course that you feed any feedback through, positive or negative. And then, as I say, those reps meet really regularly with us as members of staff in the business school to resolve any issues that may be coming up or to share ideas. So this is part of our partnerships work with students as well. Okay, so the other thing I just wanted to mention before we move on is SID. So you'll hear SID talked about quite a lot around the university. It is just stands for Student Information Desk. Now, there is a physical location in the forum in one of our big buildings on campus. And you also have access to our business school hub, which is our student support team specifically for business school students. But essentially, if you have queries about anything to do with your experience at Exeter, SID is the place to go. So they've got their own webpage here, exeter.ac.uk/SID, and you can find out anything that you need to know either on that page or by sending an email to them. But the other thing I've been asked to talk to you about today is the fact that they are incredibly busy at the moment. As you can imagine, with all the complexities of what we're dealing with this year in particular, they are finding it really hard to keep on top of emails and respond really quickly. So the recommendation is, particularly if you have an urgent query, please use the phone number and call them. And they will be much more quick at getting back to you. The phone number is here on that webpage. Or if you are in Exeter, as I say, you can go to that SID desk. But if it's something to do with business school specifically, then that is something that you would normally go to our hub team for. So I'm going to post in the email address for that. It's info.building1@exeter.ac.uk. So if it's something to do specifically with your program, if you want to reach out for our welfare officer in the business school, then that is the email address to go to. Now, what I'm going to do is, just so that you've got it in the recording as well, is to post in the links to the sorts of things that I was just talking through and those web pages that I mentioned. So what you've got there in the chat now is a link to that digital hub. You've got a link to our academic development resources ELI page. You've got a link to your academic induction module, which is BSDM 100, which has all those tasks that you need to complete. You've got a link to the Students' Guild. You've got a link to SID there. And then the other one that I've put in there is the Alibaba Cloud Service. Now, this is going to be really important to those of you who are in China at the moment. So the university has set up this service to allow you in China to access safely and securely our resources such as Teams and our virtual learning environment, ELI, and to make sure that you don't have any problems with accessing the resources that you need to on your course. So if you are in China and you need to access that service, you do need to request it. So it's not going to happen automatically. So you need to click on that link there, and then you need to follow the instructions to make sure that you are accessing that service. Okay, question. How long will it take for Info Building 1 to respond? As quickly as they possibly can. I'm afraid I can't make any promises at the moment. They are responding to queries as quickly as they possibly can. So if you are not getting a response, then the other person to contact is your academic personal tutor. If they've not yet reached out to you, and hopefully they will over the next few days, they can always help to escalate issues for you and support you with that. But at the moment, we are just getting very, very large volumes. I've had to put an auto reply in my email at the moment just to manage everyone's expectations because we're getting very large numbers. Okay, can you request for a specific academic tutor? Unfortunately not. We have to make sure that workload is spread fairly and evenly amongst all of our academic staff. So what you will normally find is, particularly if you are on a small postgraduate program, you are very likely to have your program director as your academic tutor. Now, if at some point during the year you find that the relationship with your academic personal tutor is not working for you for any particular reason, you can request a change and you can move to a different academic tutor. But in general, they all get the same guidance in terms of the support they should be offering you. So you should get a good service from all of them. Okay, will I be able to collect my Unicard and welcome pack after the mentioned dates? Yes, I think so. I think if there's a reason that you can't do it within the dates, ideally you will do it as soon as possible if you're on campus. But yeah, I'm sure it's possible to do that later. If you have a problem with downloading the VPN, have a look on the Digital Hub in case there's some support and help with that. But otherwise, send a message to SID or call them. As I say, usually you'll get a quicker response if you try telephoning them. Is attendance in online classes a must? Yes, because that's going to give you the best experience and the best chances of succeeding on your course. So those online classes, what you can expect is for every module that you take, and normally you will have an average of 4 modules each term that you're studying with us, you will have lots and lots of asynchronous materials to access in Ellie, in our virtual learning environment. But you will also have 2 live synchronous sessions per week per module. One of those will be the whole cohort session that you will have with your module lead and all of the other students on your program, on your particular module. That will be in Teams or Zoom. And again, that is a compulsory part of your attendance. And then the second is a small group session that I mentioned earlier. So you should have about 8 hours of live synchronous teaching per week within your module. And that's even if you are remote. So it will be live online, or those small group sessions may be on campus. But yes, they are a must because that's the way you connect. If all you do is sit in a student room or your home and you just learn with the asynchronous materials in Ellie, you are not going to be getting the most out of your program. Sometimes there is group assessment work that is conducted via those small sessions as well. So having said that, I do appreciate there will be instances where you cannot attend those sessions. So the reassurance is there that although we do expect attendance at all of those sessions, if you cannot, because there is an emergency, because your IT fails, because your broadband, your internet fails, or because you are ill, then please let the module tutor know, and they will make sure that you have access. You should have it by default anyway within the virtual learning environment. Okay, so they will give you an alternative way. It may be a recording of that large group session, or it might be some materials that you can read. It might be a meeting that you can have with your module tutor. So it will vary from module to module. If you are going to be absent, there is an absence reporting tool within iExeter, which is your app on your phones that you can access. But it is always a matter of courtesy. If you're unable to attend a session, please email the module tutor to let them know. Okay, your Unicard. So this is usually a physical thing that you collect on campus. If you're studying remotely, I'm not sure, to be honest, how they're handling that this year. So please check your emails. That's the most important thing. Check your emails regularly, your Exeter email account, because that's how we will communicate these sorts of things to you. If you're not sure about Unicard, send a message to SID or to our info.building1 email address, and they will explain that. Okay, my schedule shows some courses or seminars. So you will have seminars, but they will be online if you're studying remotely. If anything is showing up with a room and it looks like it's on campus and you have requested to study remotely, it may take a little while for the timetable to update. So please be patient. If it's still showing on-campus sessions on Monday when you've got teaching coming up, then please contact the module tutor urgently. There may be some information on the module tutor's webpage. So have a look at their Ellie page within our virtual learning environment. So the first place to go always is the module page in Ellie to see if there's any information about how to access classes. Yes, there is a limit on the number of times you can use Studiosity. It's 10. So you have 10 uses during the academic year. Changing my course, how can I attend the classes until it's changed officially? Okay, I would ask the relevant program director or also talk to the individual module tutors about that, and they will give you the links to those sessions if needed. Should I need to go to the police station? I'm not sure if that's a query of what to do if I need to go to, or do I need to? So I know that if you come onto campus, normally we have the visa and the passport checks happening on campus. That's a question. I'm not sure how they're doing it this year. So again, if you can email info.building1, they should be able to give you some advice on that. Who is the better to contact for advice on the choice of modules in relation to a specific career? That will be your program director or the careers team. So the careers team are fantastic. You can get amazing support from them. So please do reach out to them if you need to talk about a specific career route. I intend to study mostly remotely for family medical reason, wish to access the library from time to time. Yes, absolutely. Whether you're studying remotely or in Exeter, if you're coming to Exeter just briefly and you want to access our resources, absolutely, that's fine. I would say, though, that the regulations are changing very rapidly from week to week, if not day to day. So while you do have free access to the library at the moment, you may need to check to see what the access arrangements are when you actually come, because it might be that you need to book a time to go in. After submitting self-isolation form, should I contact the lecturers to tell them I won't be present in the face-to-face seminars for the period of self-isolation? If you are still able to go to the online alternatives that they will provide you information on, no, you wouldn't need to let them know specifically. So I would say you just need to let them know if you're unable to attend at all for those sessions. In every instance of not being able to attend a face-to-face on-campus session, you will be able to attend an online session as an alternative. Okay, fees, I don't know, I'm afraid. That's a non-academic question. So if you could ask the information point, info@building1 email address. If we switch to remote learning during the term, yes, you can. So that same coronavirus inquiries at exeter.ac.uk at any point during this term or next, if you want to switch to fully remote online learning, you can do that. You just need to email coronavirus inquiries email address. Okay, 2 consecutive classes on a particular day. One is physical and next is online. Does that mean I have to book a space in the business school every week, given the current situation? Yeah, unfortunately, yes, you'll need to find somewhere, won't you, to study on campus to do that. So, yeah, I would follow the instructions that you've been given, read those emails to see what the latest advice is in terms of how to book those study spaces. Or if it becomes too difficult, the other option is to just study fully online for those. Oh, great. Thank you, Emmanuel. Apparently you can ask for your Unicard to be posted. So brilliant. Thank you. I didn't know that. Okay. Will the on-campus police registration still take place? And is the date still? I'm sorry, I don't know that. You'll have to ask either via SID or have a look at the university help pages, the frequently asked questions. Any information regarding January exams planned to be on campus? No, they are not going to be on campus. So all assessment will be done remotely again, as it was earlier this year for the summer exams. So you will not need to be on campus to take any exams. Okay, how should we be signed into this meeting? Went via the timetable link. Yeah, you just need to make sure that in any Zoom meeting, before you go into it, you sign into your University of Exeter account. So I'm just going to post in here. University of Exeter Zoom.us. So if you go to that website, rather than just zoom.us, if you go to universityofexeter.zoom.us, you'll be prompted to put in a domain name, which is University of Exeter. So that is the University of Exeter, all as one word. That's your domain name. If you go to zoom.us, there is another way of doing it, then select single sign-on. So if you go to zoom.us and you are prompted to sign in, don't sign in the conventional way into Zoom. Go down the page a little bit further. You will find that there is an SSO option, which is single sign-on. And then what you do is you put in your Exeter IT account details. So that will be in the format like that, and then your password. Yeah, so it will be different depending on who you are and what your email address is at Exeter. But essentially, you put your username in and then you put your password in. Once you've done that, if you click on a link to any Zoom meeting, you should then be signed in to the University of account, which means you will not go into that waiting room that some of you were in earlier on. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the questions again. Can you submit your dissertation to Studiosity? There is a word limit. So the word limit at the moment is 5,500 words. So if you're submitting something longer than that, you will need to break it up into shorter sections. But if you add a note into the submission that you send to Studiosity, they will be able to link up those two submissions that you've sent in so that the advisor that's supporting you will know that. Okay, 14 days quarantine. Yes, it's absolutely fine. If you need to study online fully because you're self-isolating, again, just let us know. That's absolutely fine. Again, if you email the coronavirus inquiries email address and let us know there, or click on that link that you saw on the Ellie page earlier. Can book rooms. Second term will be online as well. We don't know what's going to happen next term because we don't know what the situation with coronavirus will be, but we are ready to be fully online. We are ready to do the same in term 2 as we are doing now, and indeed for the whole academic year. So if things get better or things get worse, we will still be able to support fully remote study. Okay, online registration, cannot see my modules. Okay, just give it a little bit. Sometimes the systems take a while to update. And the same for the timetable. The timetable is still being built. So if you see nothing in your timetable, don't worry, it will appear. So wait until some way through tomorrow. If it's still not appearing halfway through tomorrow on Friday, then let us know and we'll see if we can resolve that. Okay, someone's asking about Studiosity. The best thing with Studiosity is just go and explore, go to their website, studiosity.com, and you'll find out what the service looks like. And there'll be lots of places you can click on around Ellie. But essentially, you submit your assignment, they give you feedback on your structure, language, grammar, and so on. And there's also a tutoring service. Okay, asked Sid if they could mail my Unicard and welcome, but they said it couldn't be done. Okay, try contacting the business school team. So info.building1 for that one, Miguel, if that's okay. Can we choose 30 credits of modules outside of our course as master's students? It will depend on your program. So that's a conversation for you to have with your program director. You will all have a meeting with your program director. Hopefully that's appeared in your timetables either later today or tomorrow. So any specific questions about modules or programs, that's something to ask your program director later. How do you ask for leave? We don't generally offer leave. You are expected to be a full-time student, or if you've enrolled in a part-time program, then be fully committed to that. If you are unwell, there is a way to log that and register your absence, but we don't generally offer leave. So that is something, if you know you're going to be away for a particular reason, contact the module tutor. Okay, seminars. Some of them have got classroom locations. Yes, if there are locations on your timetable, that means that it's an on-campus face-to-face session. If you feel very uncomfortable about that and you prefer to be fully online, then you can request that by sending an email to coronavirusinquiries@exeter.ac.uk. Okay, my personal timetable no longer has the event this afternoon with my program director, MRes Economics. How else can I get a link to the meeting? I'll look into that one. Okay, Joel, I will follow up on that for you after this session. Is it necessary to stay in Exeter when we are doing our dissertation? It's up to you. So you might have better access to resources such as the library if you stay in Exeter, but many students don't. Many students do go back to their home countries and finish dissertations. We do recommend that you stay if you can, because the support that we can offer you is better. But this year in particular, we are ready to do everything remotely, so that's fine. Do you need to submit a dissertation hard copy? No, everything's online. Regarding group coursework, how we interact with students in different time zones. Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one, but hopefully we can navigate that, and it will depend on who you're working with, and you can arrange meetings that suit everybody. You do not need to purchase any books. All of your resources are made freely available to you online. So most of that will be via the library. So make sure you do the library induction. Every single one of your LE pages will have clear signposting as to what you need to read and when, and there'll be linked reading lists. You do not need to buy any books. Everything is available to you online this year. Okay. If I do not receive my student card by the time I start, how do I collect it? Again, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to that one. I think you'll need to go and ask info.building1 about that one, or the SID group. If we are out of UK, how can we attend those seminars? I'm not sure what you mean by which seminars. If you are down to attend on-campus sessions, there's an error there. You need to register and tell us that you are studying remotely, and that will eventually change everything in your... So I'm just going to post that email address again. So coronavirus inquiries at exeter.ac.uk. You need to email them and tell them if you are studying fully remotely and you cannot attend on-campus sessions. As I applied for remote study in China, could I pay the dormitory fees? Obviously, if you are in Exeter and you're living in accommodation, yes, you need to pay. If you are not in Exeter and you are not living in accommodation with us, obviously you don't need to pay. Can you explain more about how to find the classroom location, such as Streatham C or D? If you look on the website, you will find there are maps. So just search within the Exeter web pages and you should be able to find a map that will help you with that. Streatham Court C and D are essentially lecture theatres in one of the corridors in our Streatham Court building. So hopefully ask the marshals. There are people around campus. If all else fails, go and ask at the information point in building 1. So ask anyone. If there's anyone around, just ask them. Okay, I think I've made it through most of the questions. Another one from Joel. Have a clash. Okay, right. So if you have clashes on your modules, I'm just typing in the address. Please do not email any queries to this email until tomorrow. So no emails to this email address today. They will not respond to you today. But from tomorrow, if you have any queries about, I think that might be, is it student? It might be students rather than student. But that is the email address that you send any queries to if you've got clashes. If student doesn't work, put in students instead. Okay, if your tuition fee is wrong, then please tell somebody. They will sort that out for you, info.building1 and so on. If you are in the UK, now I'm in the UK, if term 1 and 2 are going to be online, if I plan to go back to my home country, so I still can apply for online. Yes, you can still. There is no cut-off date for applying to study fully remotely. That is up to you. But we do encourage you, if you can, to be on campus and to access our on-campus sessions. It's a great way of then feeling part of a community, connecting with other students. We do have lots of safety measures in place. So we have no evidence that any coronavirus transmissions are happening in classrooms. It tends to be happening in social situations or in accommodation. So please feel safe. going onto campus and accessing teaching in classrooms, we have got lots and lots of safety measures in place to make you feel confident. Okay, if your tuition fee is wrong, again, please let them know in Building 1 and they will sort that out for you. Module selection is available now, yes. So you should have an email with that information and a link in. If I have to go back online and in person, space to study online in the seminars, yes. So we will expand the number of online classes if we need to, and reduce the number of on-campus sessions if we need to. We want you to feel happy. We want you to feel safe. So we will do everything we can to make sure that you are accessing the classes that you want to access. But we do have teaching on campus at the moment, and you should feel safe going to those sessions. Okay, right. I think we might have got there. If there are any other questions, I'm afraid I'm going to have to pick those up after the session now, because I need to move on to another induction session with other students. Would we potentially have more lectures next semester? You will always have the same number of contacts. It's just whether they're online or on campus. Okay, so it's been lovely to see you all. I know that it's been a lot of listening and sitting there for you. This is not an indication of how much of your teaching will work this year. There's just a lot of information and lots of questions to answer. Most of the classes that you go to, there will be lots of opportunities for you to talk to each other, to go into breakout rooms within Teams or in Zoom. Please just read all the things that you've been sent. Go to that induction MOOC in FutureLearn and work your way through that so that you really understand how you can get the most out of your time with us. Go into do your academic induction module tasks as soon as possible, please. As I say, they are compulsory. We will be checking and making sure that everyone completes those tasks. You do have a couple of weeks to do that. But I am just really pleased to see you all. We are so happy that you're joining us in the business school this year. We hope you have a lovely time. It's not ideal for any of us, but we are doing our very best to work with you to make sure that despite coronavirus, despite all the restrictions, you have as good an experience as you can, whether you're in Exeter or in China or Kazakhstan or wherever else that you are. Please feel free to email me if anything I haven't covered today, you want more detail, but bear in mind, I am getting a lot of emails at the moment. Getting back to you might take some time, so you're better off going to all the things that I've signposted you to. Okay, so thank you so much. This session is being recorded, so you'll have access to this on your programme LE pages and hopefully later today. But yeah, great to see you all. Enjoy your programme director's talk later on. Remember, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask anyone about it. There are no silly questions. You just need to ask and we will do our best to support you. Okay, great. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you.